of creative media production. I don't know if you can hear me. I want to be sure you can hear me if I continue.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, good. So I said I want us to look at the business of the creative media production. So in this space, there are two words to it. There's the place of the creative, which is your commodity, and of course the strategy, which is your business. In the creative space, yeah, it's over the years, some persons have seen it as that place where you can go in and out without having to think too much, you know. But let's face it, the creativity being your commodity. Okay, so like I said, since we've divided into two, we have the creative, which is your commodity, and of course the strategy, which is your business. Now, if we were to face it, every creative person in the world, every creative person is passionate behind their you know, passionate of their creative ideas. You know, every creative person is passionate about their craft, whether you are behind the lens as a photographer, or you are directing a scene as a videographer, or you are editing the magic, you know, into existence. The creative flow is what keeps you going. But hear the truth: the passion alone does not pay the bills. You know, when the last speaker was speaking, one of the things I caught up from it is when he spoke about when he was answering this last person's question, when he said he could give a plot of land to a person that can help bring forth sales of 50 plots of land, right? And this will eat in my head and ask me that, if I continue to do that, how many times what is even the assurance that this person will even give me the 50 plots of land? You know, but then, like I said, the creative space is one that allows you to be able to swim for. And we know that just having the talent is not all. It doesn't end there. So for every creative person, you ask yourself, first off, what is your niche? What differentiates you from the other person? What differentiates your craft from that of Solomon? So I'm going to use an example. I'm going to use myself as a practical example. So when I delved into the creative space some 10, 15 years ago, I was literally doing everything. I was a photographer, I was a videographer, I was a director, I was an actor.
Hello, sorry, David. Hello?
Yes, I'm with you.
Yeah, because of the background, we're recording live. So can you use the background? That's streaming live.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You didn't use the event background. Apologies.
Yes. Don't have background. Sorry. No. Sorry, a minute, please. Which one are we using for the background again?
It was sent to you on WhatsApp.
Sorry, a minute. A minute, please.
Modesta, kindly guide him, or if I can be first.
Yes, sir. Have you seen the image on your WhatsApp? Okay, yes, that's it. Then if you turn your phone to landscape. Perfect. Thank you, sir. Yeah, you're muted though.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for the mix-up. So back to what I was saying. Back to what I was saying. Now we're talking about your creativity being your commodity, and of course your strategy being your business. And I was using myself as an example. When I started, I used to be a photographer, a videographer, a writer, a director, an actor. I literally do everything across the media space. Yes, I have a background in media, of course. I have my BSc in mass communication, and of course, master's the same, and my other postgraduate study also in mass communication. So I had the knowledge to swim across the whole board. But when I wanted to go into the business, I had an advice from a friend. Yes, a senior friend, but a friend, and he told me then that I should pick I should pick a race. That was his word. He told me to pick a race. That I should not just, yes, I might be able to run through the whole track, but I should pick a race. So to everyone here, my advice following up, just like the last speaker also emphasized on, is pick a race. So for me, I decided to dive into documentary production. So entering the media space after I decided to start as a business, after I decided to go into the place of strategy. Don't forget, I said we are dividing into two. We are talking about the creativity, which is now your commodity, which is your head, and of course the strategy, which is your business. So for me, my creativity was my commodity, my ability to be able to create life with my lens, you know. And then of course my strategy, which was to be my business, for me was now able to narrow it down to a path, which was documentary production. Yes, for me at that point, I didn't want to do photography as it were. I wanted audiovisual. I wanted, I wanted to create motion graphics and motion audiovisual. So I dived into that space from the angle of documentary production. So this is to everyone going into the media space. We already know that the media space is one that is wide. Yes, there's all the glamour and all of that. But the truth is, you cannot sustain yourself. You cannot stay. You cannot be in that place if you are swimming on all waters. If you are swimming on all waters, it's literally almost impossible, to keep track. So the best way for me at the time was to pick a niche and narrow myself down to a path, which was documentary production. Now, it is important that we know this, that you narrowed yourself to a certain area does not mean that you are going to be in that place forever. So going into the place of business, my path was documentary production. But now, 5 years forward, I'm back to literally doing everything. But my brand is known for documentary and advert production. But I have some clients who calls me and says, David, please, we have this corporate event and we know it's documentary. We need a documentary of that event. And then I'll tell them that we also do live streaming. And they'll be like, oh, perfect. Okay, now we take the whole media scope all together then. And that part, I get my business. So, but before it gets to that part where you are able to pitch the other part of your business to somebody, you have to be known for something. You have to be known for something. Understanding that the media space is wide and your creativity is not a doubt. So now being able to create a good balance between your creativity and the business part, which at the end of the day now brings the profit. At the end of the day brings the profit is the part to talk about now. So talking about the business side, from creativity to profit. Creativity can be chaotic, you are constantly inspired, there are ideas swinging, and your mind is running with concepts. You need a new project. Or here's the hard part, for us to scale up as individuals, as entrepreneurs, you need to understand the business structure that sustains your creativity. Now, for me, I had a senior in ICY after I decided to while growing as a documentary production expert. You know, I knew that he usually he was in the field of, of course, it was in the media space, but then I needed to know how to get gigs, and this will lead me to my current appointment. So aside from being a media expert, I am a special advisor to a member house of rep on media, and what brought me to her was my creativity. And was not just my creativity, was my expert in documentary production. So someone took me to her straight up that there's this guy that owns a media production company and they shoot good documentaries. So she brought me on to come and document our campaign process. So I came in to shoot a campaign and then give a 30-minute documentary of the themes of our life, our campaign, and of course, post-election at the time, you know. Now, this takes us to what I said earlier, being known for something. For me, it was documentary. Now, the person that I'm now currently working with or for, I came in as a documentary expert. Now I handle all of our media. And when I came in, this also takes me back to what the last speaker said when he said, you should be able to give a plot of land to somebody that can help you sell 50 plots of land. Now, for me at the time, to go and meet this person, I didn't want to just go and meet her and like, yes, I'm a production expert. These are some of the works I've done. I first went online. I gathered some information about her. I got pictures. I asked some people to give me pictures, videos of different activity. And then I came up with a short documentary for her. So when I went to meet her, my first conversation with her, even before, while I introduced myself, the next thing I did was to play a 3-minute short documentary of her for her. Pictures that she did not know I could get, you know. I got some people talk about her and she saw the video and she was, so that, yes, I have some documentaries that I already have done before now that will easily sell me. But that already sold me better to her because she's seeing herself, even without telling me what to do, without telling me anything, I could cook up something for her. So me selling, doing a free job, so to say, got me even much more transactional, if I'm to borrow the last speaker's word, transactional jobs. So that goes back to us that, yes, you need to be able, you need to have it in you to be able to actually do some jobs at a cutout. It's very important to stay in the industry. And of course, you need to understand your path. You need to understand the business. So you're not just going into it because yes, I love photo, I love handling camera. So there's this student of mine, when the parent brought her to my studio, when I asked her, why did you want to do this? Her response was that she loved camera. But now in my head, I'm like, if you love camera, yes, it's fine. That can get you to start it. But what will keep you in it? So as entrepreneur, we need to be able to ask ourselves, what will keep me in this industry? So I need to understand the path that I have chosen and how does this path work and what can stand me out of it. Your place of creativity, like I said before, cannot be overemphasized. Yes, you're good, but you need to be able to balance your creativity and your strategy. Your strategy is not going to be your business path, and that is what will sustain you in the industry. Now, for us to continue, for you to continue to be able to sustain yourself as a creative expert, you need to be able to also, also be able to move with the technology. You need to be able to advance as technological advancement comes in place. One of the things that differentiates me as a gaffer from quote unquote Baba Photo, so recently someone came to do a photo shoot in my studio, and my charge is 70,000 naira per outfit. And then the person be like, can't you get one picture? I tell you, no, I don't do one picture. It's a package. It's an outfit. You get 5 edited pictures. And then the person says, okay, what if he wants to reduce his pictures? I'm like, you cannot reduce your picture. You can only increase it. But Baba Photo and under the canopy can probably do a photo shoot for you, give you one picture and collect 5,000 naira from you. But for me, what sells me out is my package, is yes, my business structure, having understood the business that I am in, the industry that I am in. So for us to be able to get it clearly, we've divided it into two. I'm just reminding us again. First, your place of creativity, which is your niche, that thing in your head, and of course, your business strategy, what you want to do in the industry. So what you want to do in the industry will help your creativity navigate through and will keep you in the industry. So it is important you know as a creative person what you want to do and how you want to do it. I think that's even the simple form. What you want to do and how you want to do it. So what you want to do, your creativity, your talent will help you in applying it there. But how you want to do it is your research, your learning. You have to learn the space you are in. You have to learn the things that is being done in that space. You have to get yourself familiar with brands and all that. So as a creative person in the media space, I growing in the space, aside from doing free jobs, I get myself attached to brands. You know, before I started last year, I shot a documentary for Mocha Phone. Before then, I had done some production for them, not directly for them. I didn't give it to them, but I tagged them in my upload of it. When I uploaded it at the time, I tagged it in it, and they saw it. You know, when they are having gigs, you create portfolio yourself. But the truth is, we are pursuing money, and of course, our gears are not cheap. But even at that place, you need to be able to find your foot, and the only way you find your foot is when you have things to show. When you have things to show. So the only way, the way you can do that is constantly getting yourself relevant, being relevant in the space. And how do you keep yourself being relevant? Is creating reels, creating visuals. So when somebody comes and say, sorry, somebody is looking for someone that can do documentary for animal documentary, because already you have the skill in documentary production. I'm using documentary because that's my place of expert. So pardon me if I don't use other words. I'll try to. But then the reason why you can gladly say yes, I can shoot animal documentary, because already you probably shot a textual documentary about something. You can easily create, even without having to probably shoot animals or use animal pictures or visuals. You can use text to describe that thing that somebody wants and give it to them. So having said that, another thing that can keep you relevant in this space is getting ahead of trends. Getting ahead of trends. I, for a person, I have a lot of fight with one of my partners sometimes when they ask that, guys, let's start taking weddings, let's start taking some kind of event. I run away from it. But people tell me that's what brings the money. That's where the money is now. So rather than me go and shoot a wedding visuals, I'll probably just create a short wedding graphics for somebody, or create it and just upload. But it is important as a creative, it's important as someone who wants to stay relevant in the media space, for you to be well abreast of the latest happenings in your space. So last year I was at the Olojo Festival, and sorry, the this popular one at Ijebu. The name just skipped my head now. This Ijebu Ojudeoba, yes, the Ojudeoba. I wasn't there for this year, but I was there last year. And how did I get for the one of last year? I did a short video clip, a short documentary of a place here in Lagos called Agui. Fortunately, that's my village. So I did a short video of a place of this town called Agui and their culture. And then I shared it to some brands. And last year, they sponsored my company to shoot Ojudeoba. And they paid us to go and shoot it. This year, they did the same, but then we were kind of busy because we had some other production at hand. We couldn't go. What am I heading to? What am I heading at is, once your niche is well addressed, once you know your path. That okay, I'm good at taking animal pictures, or I'm good at taking wedding events or portrait visuals, or I'm better at product shows. Once you are known for a particular place, for a particular side, the industry will find it. Your clients will find their way to you one way or another. I don't know if that is right for me to say they'll find their way to you, so we don't get it mixed up. But the truth is, they will find their way to you. But you also need to understand that industry that you have chosen for yourself and find a way to constantly remain relevant, because the place of relevance cannot be overemphasized. And how can you get yourself relevant is by constantly being ahead of the trend, ahead of trends. You need to understand the new technologies involved in this industry. You need to be able to get yourself attached to brands that are promoted or that are in line with this, your path. One of my big gigs so far was when in 2021, I shot the documentary for the current president of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I shot this documentary for his colloquium in 2021. And how did I get it? Because somebody just knew that, I know this guy. Just called me one day, David, how you now going ahead? Sorry, I have one project for you. I'll be linking you up with a community group, and they will be having a conversation, and then they will tell you about the whole brand. First off, when I had my conversation with them, the first thing they asked me was, can we see some documentary that you have done? And my response to them is, yes, you can. And I gave them my portfolio. But then I now send them a message that, which one would you like? Because there are different types of documentary. Is it personality documentary? Is it animal documentary? Is it textual documentary? I gave them the different folds, so they know that I didn't just stumble on the document. They know that I am an expert in this field. So I know the different folds of documentary. Now, it now tells to you that, which one do you want me to do for you? And then that's when they now told me, okay, this is what they want. Because already they know that I know that all documentaries are not same. So for you as a starter, for you to scale up in the creative media space, in the audiovisual production space, you need to understand how to differentiate yourself, how to expertise yourself, how to make yourself, how to value your creative, and how to be able to put it out there and let people know that you actually know what you're talking about. So when you're talking to somebody about this space, they know that you know what you're talking about. So somebody does not come and say, they need portrait shot, and then you are sending them creative on product shoots. Or somebody says they want a documentary, they want a documentary photography, or they want a documentary shoot, photographical, pictorial documentaries, and then you start sending them a wedding picture, different wedding pictures that you've done. That you are a wedding photographer does not mean you can be a documentary photographer. But if you understand the space well, you'll be able to, even when you're having conversation to somebody to prospective clients about this field, the way you speak to them, be able to know that yes, this person knows this. So even if you don't particularly have portfolios or visuals in the angle where they are requesting of you, you will still be able to easily carry them through and let them know that, okay, these are the ones that you have done, but let them give you a couple of hours or couple of days to come up with a sample visuals for them. In our space, you need to be able to do sample visuals. Of course, until you get to a certain stage, probably when you won't need to do sample visuals again. For me, even being in the space for at least 10 years, I still create sample visuals for some kind of client. And for some kind of other clients, I don't need to. I also shot the documentary for ICOBA College. I think we did for the 90th anniversary documentary. So what I'm heading to is, like I've said before, dividing these things. Know the industry you are in. Be able to be up to date about the trends in that space. Know the industry you are in, the way to scale up. Know the industry you are in, be able to move up to, be up to date about the trends in that industry. Of course, be able to evolve technologically. There are some things that probably will take you weeks before now in creative space, but now with the help of different artificial intelligence, you get them in minutes. In minutes. And also be known for something. Even if at the end of the day, over time, you'll be able to expand your business and probably be able to do other things. But first, be known for something. When people call, let them know that this guy is an expert in documentary production. This guy is an expert in portrait shoot. This guy is an expert in wedding shoot. I have some colleagues that they are so aligned with production. They don't do events. They don't do anything. They don't do production. Some their creative strength is portrait shoot. For me, venturing into the space, I was lucky enough to get good advice, and then I stayed to my documentary production and advert. In fact, initially it was just documentary, but after my involvement, I think towards the end of my PhD of my master's degree, before I started my PhD program, that was when I decided to join advert team, and now I shoot advert, I shoot documentaries. But sometimes I take events because now I have a wider range of people working with me. So I have some wedding photographers as my staff. I have some wedding videographers. I have some portrait guys. I have portrait editors. I have product guys. But my brand first was known for documentary production. So for you to be able to scale up in this industry, you need to carefully be able to scale through and be able to define your path. And when you define your path, you now add these things. You'll be able to research, be able to get yourself acquainted with brands that are in line with, of course, your path. You get updated on technologies and trends in that industry. And of course, the place of collaboration. One of the big problems in the space now with upcoming with younger or those I would say younger guys in the creative media space is collaboration. Some persons don't want to collaborate. But the truth is collaborations even sell faster than your own personal shoot. Collaboration sells faster than your own personal shoot. So it is a lot of the time it is very, very important when you collaborate. And collaboration gives you that, you see other gappers. About a month ago, I had a collaboration shoot here in my studio. Where I brought in some videographers, we brought in some models, we had some products. So we had product shoots, we had workouts, we had wedding, we had proposal, we did everything in the studio. And so I had a lot of photographers. Everybody just come, do your glitch. We compare works, and we had an editing spray. I did an expose of almost a week editing spray. Videographers, everybody were here. I turned my whole studio space to an editing room. So everybody edits. We have a big screen where you project to check your color grade. All of this award sells your work and even make you better. So you learn from other guys and be able to see the latest trend that you did not even know. Another thing that I did like to, as I round up, I did like to talk about in this space is you need to know that you are not just a creative. You're not just a creative, you are a business person. So I've spoken about the path of creative and how to balance it, but now how to make your money from it. clients will always come to you with, I have a photo shoot. I want to do a photo shoot on something. I need, what is your price for a 5 days event? And of course, we all know the general response where everybody will say to ask them for their budget. Of course, starting off, you should not be so eager to do pricing. A lot of gaffers will say, "Oh, you have to get equipment." You have to Yes, we know that equipment are expensive, but the truth is, you don't have to start. You don't have to start with the topmost gears. A 6D camera can literally shoot anything. In fact, a 60D camera can literally shoot anything. Can literally shoot anything. Now, the settings, your relationship with your company. I tell my guys a lot of time that whatever the outcome of your shoot is largely dependent on your relationship with your camera. Your camera can literally give you any and everything. Sorry about this. Give me a second, please. Sorry. So as I was saying, the outcome of your visuals, I tell my guys a lot that it is largely dependent on your relationship with your camera. Whatever your camera gives to you is as a result of how you have related to your camera or how you are relating to your camera. So you need to be able to, for your business, for you to be able to scale up your creativity and your business, you need to have a very good relationship with your camera. And that is going to be evident in your price. So sometimes for a 5 days event, you can, knowing the type of client it is, knowing the type of guests that you can get. I tell people a lot, don't undervalue yourself, because don't say because you want to get a job, now go down the price. The truth is, I have this popular saying that I've been using for years, and I tell all my guys that cares to hear. No matter how low you go on your price, know this, there's somebody that is ready to go lower than you. And no matter how high you think you have gone, there's somebody out there that is getting higher pay than you for the same job. So you need to understand first the value that you bring to the table. And your value is largely dependent on how much knowledge you have gathered over the years. So you cannot start photography today and you are lucky enough to get one uncle that has an event and saying, okay, he wants to encourage you, now saying, okay, come and be the one to cover this event. And then you now decide to put your price in this, or maybe the uncle decides to just give you one good money, not because of the value that you are bringing to the table, but rather just to encourage your business. And then somebody else asks you for your pricing. You now decide to give them the price that camera boss will use, or the price David will charge for documentary. You decide to copy that pricing and go and also give somebody that is trying to do a short documentary of their brand, of a startup brand. You know, it doesn't work. So you need to first understand, like I said, understand the business, understand the industry, understand your own creative space, and understand how far you have grown. Your growth has to tell in your pricing. If you're just starting, your pricing has to be one that is friendly, but also do not undervalue yourself. Do not undervalue yourself, because somebody out there is always ready to take lesser than whatever you are offering. And also know that somebody is ready to take higher than whatever you are offering. When I started as a brand, I tell people a lot. My first ever client was Avesta's church. So I'm going to give this background. Anytime I tell people about my business trajectory, they say, well, your dad was a priest too now, so it makes it easier. So yes, I'm an Anglican. And for those that know the Anglican communion, my dad is an Anglican priest and an archdeacon. So I lived with him before I left the house, even while I was practicing. But I made it a call to myself when I started as a brand. When I told my dad that I wasn't going to look for a job because I'm not the person that can sit in a space for so long. I like to be on the field. I like to be with the camera. I like to shoot. If I'm not shooting, I'm directing a visual. If I'm not, I'm creating a storyboard. So I like to always be active. One of the things I told myself is, I'm not going to take any job from this church because I know that people will come. Shebi, you are my vicar son. Do it for me. Do it for me. The place of do it for me, it will never end. But when I wanted to start, I was ready to get myself exposed to church events. Even for things that did not call me for, I'll go and get camera and just shoot them. But then when you grow over time, you yourself, you will see your own progress in your creativity. After you have collaborated with people, you have shot visuals, you have edited over time, you have good persons that can critique your work, and you are able to listen to those corrections. Over time, you see the progress in what you are doing, and then you'll be able to now tell yourself that, okay, at this point, when you take and bend, your charges are moderate, as it may, or as it were, considering all the factors that I've previously listed, you know, considering those factors, you see all of these things, and then you now begin to adjust your pricing accordingly. And then the truth is, prices, your experiences change your prices. When I started 2012, 2013, I'm not using the same price now. In fact, the prices of 2020 is not what I'm using now. I think Senior Die yourself, I'm sure you will be here. I gave him pricing one time like that for one of my jobs. If he comes to me with that kind of job again now, I'm not going to give him that same pricing because my experiences are now different. I've learned more. I've gained more experience, and I've grown my business. I've grown my business. So as a startup, as a young as one who is in the space of the creative media space, you need to really, really work on your creativity, work on your creative, work on your brand, and then have a good knowledge of the industry that you intend to take over. Because if not, you literally just be doing anything. You just be doing everything. So in conclusion, I would say creativity is a beautiful and a powerful force. But without strategy, without innovation, without a business mindset, it is hard to scale and grow. It is hard to scale and grow. It is very hard to scale and grow. And as youth, as entrepreneurs, as young business owners, you need to know that yes, you are the next phase. In fact, you are the current phase. You are the next phase of this storytelling future in whatever location you find yourself. So let us remember this. Creativity, yes, is your call. Is here. They don't teach creativity, but the business is learnable. So first, you need to be able to learn the business part of your industry. It's learnable. So you need to find yourself a niche, and don't be afraid to collaborate. Don't be afraid to collaborate. Don't be afraid to collaborate. The media world is ever evolving, and with the right mindset, you are just, with the right mindset that you are not just creating content, rather you are creating a future that can become an empire. So on this note, I want to say thank you to everyone for listening.
Thank you very much, sir. I don't know if there are questions. I think he's left. Okay. Please, if you have questions, you can unmute your mic and ask, or you can drop on the chat as well.
We are here. We are not gone. Oh. I'm here.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
My only it was a well presented session, but I'm a little bit confused here. Because we're supposed to be talking about project management and partnership collaboration, but I got all your part of the partnership collaboration. But I was thinking maybe or probably maybe the facilitator will still take more insight on the physical section. But it's a good session. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I think your feedback is noted. I don't know, Mr. Drojaye Adekunle, do you have any questions? Okay, I think since there are no questions, if you have any questions, you could always drop it in the chat. I will hand over to Modesta to round off.
Okay, so thank you so much for being here. I mean, bringing out your time to join us up to this point. We really appreciate that. It's not easy. So same time tomorrow, 10 a.m. And we'll bring even more mentors on different aspects to guide you on your journey in your businesses. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.
Hello. Sorry. That means for the 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock section is not holding.
Well, it's
I need to be sure because I have an engagement, so I need to be sure. Is it holding or we have to?
The holding that will be by 5 p.m. We'll be making use of, yes, by 5 p.m.
Let us know the schedule time.
Yeah, the facilitator was unavoidably absent, so he requested we reschedule for 5 p.m. So it's still the same meeting link we'll be making use of to join the
we should just go back to the same email link and by 5 or let us know what time exactly, please. I need to know the exact
p.m. 5 p.m.
Noted.
Yeah. Thank you.
So we can leave now, right?